So welcome to the future Bulldogs that are here. Thank you for your patience. It's been a crazy year, COVID year, but we're here. Glad to be here. So, yeah, thank you. This is Oakland Tech, known as the Queen of Broadway or the Jewel of Broadway, and your children get to experience this awesome, wonderful place. Um, and again, we just are thrilled that your children or that you have faith in us and OUSD and whatnot, and you're sending your child to Oakland Tech next year. Next slide, please. So today we're going to finally get to cover the schedule or the scheduling process or our Oakland Tech schedule for next year. We'll talk about the ninth grade structure. Then we'll do some course scheduling and then talk about summer options very briefly. Again, this shouldn't take too long at all, you all. So again, thank you for your patience. This is really perfunctory. We're just trying to make sure that we get classes scheduled for next year so we can build our master schedule. Next slide, please. The ninth grade team who you'll meet today, or you'll meet Ms. Williams for sure. She'll introduce herself very shortly. And then Miss Prisbilla may join us. She was a little feeling under the weather. I hope she's made it in. But again, Miss Prisbilla, we're thankful that she's here as well as a ninth grade counselor, and she'll introduce herself if she is here. Next slide, please. I didn't really have an opportunity to introduce myself. I'm Martell Price. I've been at Oakland Tech for 13 years, 7 years as a teacher, 6 years as an AP or assistant principal, and the last 4 years also as a parent. My son graduates this year, and hopefully my daughter attends Oakland Tech in a couple years as well. At any rate, there are several things we want to share with you. I'm going to ask if Miss Williams can drop the agenda form. And in this agenda form, you'll be able to look at a document that has, again, your Google course form that we're going to go over with you. It'll have information about OUSD's A through G requirements, which actually line up with the CSU and UC requirements. It has PTSA sign-up information. Please, you're welcome to join now. You're a Bulldog. Although your children won't officially rise or become ninth graders until August, we have an awesome PTSA. Our PTSA treasurer actually came through in the clutch when we were having some logistical issues. Again, at any rate, and then we have information about an annual freshman barbecue and orientation, which we'd like you all to know is mandatory. We just want to bring the kids back and get them back to the campus. We know after this return this year that having some sort of orientation for ninth graders is critical. At any rate, I don't know what just happened to the screen in the presentation. Were you sharing your screen, Ms. Williams? And you going to share it again? Okay, good. So next slide, I guess we'll share that with you at some point. Don't worry about it. The reality is we were supposed to share that before the meeting started, but you will get that information. Orientation, the annual barbecue, and I'll answer all these questions, but generally the annual freshman barbecue is the last Friday before school starts. So in that sense, I believe that would be like August 6th, I believe. Let me see.
August 5th.
August 5th. There it is. Thank you. Next slide, please. All right. So our schedule next year, just to want to be clear, we start at 8:40. And again, this is a challenge for some, but again, we have to start at 8:40 to get through our block schedule. Teachers are required to have a 7-hour day, and this is what we were able to sit on or come to a conclusion with collectively as a staff and community last year. This is our first year rolling this schedule out. It's been an adjustment, but we live and learn at Oakland Tech, and that's part of what makes Oakland Tech a great place to be. To the right, we'll see a screen or a schedule that we're going to look at in more detail. But we have 10-minute passing periods. And I just want to make this very clear. There's no reason for your child to be late when they come to Oakland Tech, especially in the ninth grade. 10 minutes is plenty of time for the kids to get from class to class. We are going to lengthen our lunch period a little bit. Not on Mondays. Go to the next slide, please. We are going to lengthen our lunch period out a little bit next year. Make it 35 minutes. The kids said 30 minutes is too short. And all I say to them is, hey, your lunch, you're supposed to go pick it up, come back to campus, eat, and then go back to class. Some kids like to think that they can go sit down at local restaurants and whatnot. But at any rate, we are going to extend our lunches on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays and Fridays by 5 minutes. But it also means that we have to extend our school day by 5 minutes. So we'll be actually getting out at 3:45 and 3 o'clock. 3:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and 3 o'clock on Wednesdays and Fridays next year. We have had discussions. Thank you for those questions. And again, I should address these at the end, but it's an open campus for everybody. If you don't want your child to go off campus, you can make that explicitly clear to your child, and you can work with the admin team. But it's tough. What I would do, honestly, is send your child with a lunch if you don't want them to go off campus. Because what it is that's the lure. Kids like to just go spend their parents' money at the shops across the way, and that's the cool thing to do. But it's fine and cool to just bring your lunch, sit on the lawn, or sit around campus. We have plenty of open on-campus seating as a result of COVID. And again, if you come to Tech at lunch, it's a nice place to be at lunch. The kids are all just relaxed and chilling out on the front lawn and in the back and whatnot. At any rate, house structure, we can move on. Thank you. Are you going to take this now, Ms. Williams?
You go through 9.
Okay, thank you. I'll take it. So next year we're targeted to have classes of 420 students of ninth graders. And again, we know clearly that some schools, kids are coming from small private schools. Some kids are coming from small middle schools. Some schools may be coming from large middle schools. But regardless, ninth grade is an adjustment. We call it a transition year, and we focus on it as a transition year to high school, really, because again, the data shows that if a student is very successful in the ninth grade, it just bodes well for their post-secondary options. So we separate the 420 students into groups of 140, or we will next year. There'll be 3 houses, Sol, Janus, and Neptune. These are cohorted communities, and they will basically have the same English, California studies, or ethnic studies teacher. They'll have a math course. Generally, it's going to be algebra or geometry. Each house team has an algebra teacher, though, and there's a reason for that. We want our Algebra 1 students to be successful because it's a critical year for them. And then each team has a biology teacher as well. Please know we will check the chat at the end, you all. We're just trying to get through this presentation. So again, it's a wonderful system and structure that works. It not only supports students, it supports the teachers as they meet every week to collaborate, to intervene for students that are struggling, and to share best practices. Next slide, please. Are they randomly assigned? Yes. Again, we do try to make sure that we get it has to be random. We try to make sure that all the kids from Montero don't end up in the same classes, though, that's for sure, right? We get most of our feeders right now have been in the past couple of years, Montero, Claremont, and Brewer. And again, we just try to mix them up, It's somewhat random, but again, I'm not a counselor, but we mix them up good. At any rate, each student, when they come to Oakland Tech as a ninth grader, has to take English 1. They will take ethnic studies, which used to be formerly known as California studies, but again, OUSD approved the renaming of it as ethnic studies. Then they take biology. Then they take their math course, whether it be algebra, geometry, algebra 2, math analysis, depending on where your child is. And again, if your child is advanced in math, they can start in an advanced math class. Then every ninth grader takes PE. Just please tell your ninth graders, just do it in the ninth grade. Just they have 2 more years of PE to take. Some ninth graders come in and they struggle and they end up taking the PE in the 11th and 12th grade, and it's just get it done with. Each ninth grader will have an option to take 2 elective courses, and then each ninth grader will have an advisory course that will be utilized very well by the ninth grade team. I talked about the structure. The structure of this team supports advisory very well. Next slide, please. Oh, that's
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the English and Ethnic Studies course. And before we get started, if Miss Andrea Dooley is still on this webinar, can you add Holly Preswilla and then back, or Mr. Price, can you call her? So we have English and Ethnic Studies, which are block classes, which means that we have the same teacher or the teachers are paired. So for example, if you have English with Mr. Barrett, you're also going to have Ethnic Studies with Mr. Barrett. Oftentimes, sometimes you might even have that same teacher for advisory, but you won't have those same classes on the same day. So if you're on a 1 through 4 schedule, you know, periods 1, 3, 5, 7 on Monday, then on Tuesday, you'll have, 1, 3, 5, 7 on a Tuesday, then on Wednesday, when we have periods 2, 4, 6, 8, that's when you'll have your other class. So you'll have English on one day and Ethnic Studies on another day. Rarely do you have them the same day, but sometimes that does happen. Okay, so you also will have to take biology. Biology is usually a lab. There's a variety of tests that you have to take, and so biology always follows the next generation science standards. A required class for ninth graders is PE. So one thing you have to know about PE is that the PE teachers expect you to dress and participate every day. You may be doing things like running, so make sure you wear running shoes, right? Or if you don't want to wear running shoes to school, make sure you bring them in your backpack so you can have running shoes available if the required assignment is to run laps. You may be doing things like yoga, you may be playing basketball, badminton, tennis. So these are all activities in which you probably need good shoes on. So I would recommend that you wear good shoes. Okay. So then if you are able to do all the classwork, sometimes there's written work. So sometimes PE will require you to do a little written work, but it's not going to ask you to not do anything, right? So it's really, really important that you are doing all of the written work. All right, so for math, you will be taking either algebra, geometry, or algebra 2. If you have a C or higher in algebra, let's say you're taking algebra right now as an 8th grader, you would want to present your transcripts with a letter to us so that we can put you in a higher level math. But we have to have your transcript in order to do that. So just make sure that you provide that if you want to be in geometry as opposed to algebra. Some of the other math classes that are available would be AP Statistics, AP Calculus AB, and AP Calculus BC. I don't anticipate that very many incoming ninth graders will take those courses, but if you are already well-versed in math and you've completed these courses for your A to G requirement, you can take a higher level math. Okay, so let's talk about the electives that you'll have. The reason why we're going through all of this is because we want you to rank your choices 1, 2, and 3. You have an opportunity to take 2 electives per year, and those electives you'll be in for the entire year, okay? So for example, like taking Spanish is an elective, right? Taking art is an elective. PE is not an elective because it's a required class. So for example, world languages, we offer French 1, 2, and 3. We offer Mandarin 1, 2, and 3, and we offer Spanish 1 through 4. Okay, so these are classes that you can take. I know a lot of students come in and they may already speak Spanish. You can also take what's called Spanish for Spanish speakers, or Spanish EPH, Español por Hispanohablantes, right? And that class will give you your 2 years credit that you need for taking Spanish. So that's definitely an option. So one of the things that we offer, like if I went back to the Bell schedule real quick, I want to show you that you'll see that on Wednesdays and Fridays, we have something called study hall, right? Study hall is actually what we call advisory. And during your advisory period, you can go to other teachers to get help with your work. You can make up work, or you may be doing particular assignments in advisory, or we may be pushing in content during your advisory to make sure that you are able to get the right kind of information, or to be able to have assemblies, or to be able to do certain things within advisory. And so I just wanted to show you that advisory is a required class, right? So it's one of the classes that you'll take. Sometimes things that happen in advisory would be like 18 lessons of exploratory, so that you can be able to know what all the academies are. Your counselor will push in and go over your A through G requirements. You'll do goal setting. You'll get familiar with the College and Career Center. You'll learn about school culture. You'll talk about time management. You'll have, classes on cyberbullying, so that you know that these things are not acceptable, right? And so you'll do all these things within advisory, right? Oftentimes there'll be grade level meetings or assemblies or things like that. That's what advisory is for, and to give you an opportunity to be able to go and get help from your teachers or make up missing work. So advisory is actually very valuable, and this will happen 4th period on Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay. Another class that you have the opportunity to take is called dual enrollment. We created a special dual enrollment class for 9th grade this year, and we'll have a different one next year, just to be able to give 9th graders an opportunity to take a college level class, right? So dual enrollment means that you're going to enroll in Peralta colleges to take a particular course. You're actually going to have a college professor teach your course, and you'll have a high school teacher who will be helping with that course. So when your college professor isn't there, they can help you with your work. They'll take attendance, all of that. So this class is called ES 14, and it's about community building and transforming urban America. The class is an art and social justice course designed to engage students in community solutions that incorporate visual arts and hip hop culture. You'll be designing a community conscious mural. You'll engage your peers in brainstorming solutions and build together as a group about how you can all engage in your communities for social change. So the professor that we have for this class is really, really great. He's someone that a lot of our 9th grade students like. And so this is not the same as your regular ethnic studies class, as you can see, because you're going to be doing art, you're going to be learning about hip hop, you're going to be learning about social movements in the Bay Area, and how you guys can work together to create change within your 9th grade class. Okay, so this is a college class, but it gives you an opportunity, number one, to get 10 units, right, bumped up on your transcript. If you get an A, you get a grade bump. So it's actually really a good opportunity. And if, for example, by the time you get to 11th or 12th grade, you need extra credits, this gives you 10 extra credits. So it's something that a lot of students enjoy because it's a great class, but it also gives you a lot of additional benefits. So you would have to fill out a Peralta College application, and you also have to fill out a dual enrollment application. We'll get that information out to you shortly. But if that's something that you want to do and you select, hey, I want to take the dual enrollment class, then you're going to have to do those applications. And so we'll send them to you. All right. Any questions about that right now?
The questions, I'm answering them in the chat as best as
Okay.
possible, and we'll get to them. But again, this class runs on the schedule of the Peralta colleges. So yes, we will start August 9th, but this actual class won't start for another 2-3 weeks. So it'll kind of, your child will kind of be in limbo a little bit. But again, it's a great opportunity for your child. It's a great opportunity for students that want to start earning extra college credits and extra credits to make their schedule a little lighter as they get older or as they matriculate through Oakland Tech.
Mhm.
Um, so is it considered one of the two electives or extra on top of that? Ms. Williams, would you like to answer that real quick?
And so it is, we can include it as an elective. It would be extra because you're getting the 10 extra units. So it's 3 college units or 10 credits. So you can take it as one of your electives, but you still have to take PE, right? Which is a required elective. And you still may have to take, well, I think we offered this in lieu of art and other things. So this could be one of your 2 electives, yes.
So this is offered on campus. This is why it's a dual enrollment. Your child, once they become a tech student, and this is just to answer a question I saw earlier, somebody asked about going to a summer school or Peralta colleges, like from 8th to ninth grade. We cannot count any of those credits until you actually become a student at Oakland Tech.
Mhm.
So yes, you may go to Peralta colleges this summer and whatnot, but unfortunately, you're not a rising ninth grader until August. Yes. At
Right.
any rate, this is recorded and whatnot. Well, let's just try to move along and
Okay.
whatnot, and we'll try to address all these questions at the end.
All right, sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and kind of walk you through the process for how to fill out the course selection form. Ms. Priscilla or Mr. Price, if you can you grab the course selection form and
Miss,
drop it in the chat for everyone?
yes, Miss Prisbilla just put it in the chat, and we're going to kind of outline the process of what needs to happen. Um, I don't know if you can make her a panelist, Miss Williams.
Um,
That's the Miss Andrea made me a panelist, and that's how I was able to speak. But she didn't do so for Miss Prisbilla, so I'll just cover for her. At any rate, we're going to walk you through a process when you get this course form. And again, we'll talk. I think we went over electives. It'll have all the electives that are available. So first things first, when you see this form, you're going to basically have to put your name and whatnot. And then it'll outline again what we said are mandatory classes: English, ethnic studies, bio. From there, it'll continue going on to your electives. What we are asking you to do, it says we don't have access to it. Thank you. My work computer blocks Google Docs. Well, this is how we get this done, and we will figure out this is how we worked it last year. We'll figure out the glitch as to why you are not accessing it.
Ms. Priscilla, can you fix that right now where everyone else can have access? Maybe she can drop a new link in the chat.
You should put in the parent email right now. In the end, right now, we're communicating with you all as parents.
Okay.
It is a transition year to high school, like we said earlier. And your kids, many of your kids will need your support, whether they realize it or not. Again, they just go through a lot of changes in the ninth grade. Student athletes do take PE, but if they start playing a sport, they can start accruing advanced sports credit. If they start playing football, they can accrue advanced sports credit for the first semester, and then they play basketball the second semester. They could get another year or semester of advanced sports credit and be done. At any rate, the course form. Let's just move through. I'm going to go through what it looks like a little bit.
Most people are saying that they do
Can
have
access.
access to it.
Okay, good,
So for
good.
those of you who do have access to it, let's go ahead and follow along as we go through it. I'm sorry, Miss Untrue Lou from Montera is, can we answer your question at the end?
So there are specific requests around the electives. What we don't need you to do is pick multiple electives. Pick one language and roll with it. Then you're going to also you're going to pick your math. Remember, if you're picking geometry, you must send us ideally a copy of the transcript. That's what we need officially to make it happen. Um, If that's an issue, just get in contact with Ms. Prisbilla and Ms. Williams as well. Then again, you are going to pick your world languages and any other electives that are available. You need to rank them 1, 2, and 3. Um, as far as that question that just came up, can advanced sports credit be accrued? It does accrue. So again, if they'll take PE in the 9th grade, but if your student plays a fall sport, they can get a half semester of advanced sports credit, and then they play a winter or a spring sport, they can get another half year of advanced sports credit. But let me say this, because the state did something different this year. The state mandated that all 10th graders take PE, regardless of how many units they have. So we are having this issue right now. There are some parents that are upset, but I just want to let you know that just because your child has accrued 20 units of PE credit, it does not release them. What has generally released students in the past is the physical fitness test. The state asked us to give that test this year, but then they said your students still have to take PE in the 10th grade regardless. We'll have the contact info to send a transcript in on the next slide. Go to the next slide, please. Summer Bridge. All right, this is an opportunity for your child in the summer. What happened? Why'd you go forward?
Because I was looking for the actual sheet. Let's go ahead and fill out the form.
Yeah, where's the sheet? Oh, okay. So besides electives, if you look on the Google form, it'll list the dual enrollment class, it'll list drama, it'll list art classes. Thank you for pulling up the form. Please. So go to the next section, please. We do want parent emails. Honestly, we want to over communicate, and sometimes the emails that you have in Parent Square will be different from the one. Some people signed up in Parent Square with a phone number email or a new Parent Square email. We want an email, a valid email from a parent so we can communicate. Fill this out now with us, or you'll have a couple days if you have questions. Parent Square is our communication platform that we use to communicate with students, teachers, and staff and families. It's very comprehensive. At any rate, you'll get added to Parent Square once you get added to Aries, which is our student data system. You guys you've all been offered or accepted, but what has to happen now is we need the district to roll your information into our system so we can start uploading your schedules and whatnot. It asks for both student and parent emails in the form. So again, if your student has an OUSD email, please list it. If not, give us any email that they have. At any rate, can you go to the next form page, please?
Yeah, I think
everybody takes 7 classes. This basically shows you all the electives. Thank you for showing us. Thank you for going down. So we're getting your student emails. We want your phone numbers just in case something is different. We want your demographic information of your child. We want your middle school. There is a reason why we want your middle school, yes. And that's, this will help us with the process of placing in houses. We want phone numbers. We want student emails. We want your name. We want to get to know you. We want your arm. We want your leg. No, just kidding. At any rate, parent, guardian, phone number, again, sometimes it's wrong in areas. And there have been plenty of times when I've referred back to these documents for contact information. Let's go down to section 2, please. So as we said earlier, every student is going to get English, ethnic studies, bio, PE. Just get it done, kids. If you're listening, please just get it done. And again, hopefully you're able to take the PFT next year. Physical fitness test is a state mandated test. That's the PFT. And if you pass 5 out of 6 of the areas, you can get a waiver. And then we can start counting your advanced sports credit. And then you can be done with PE. At any rate, keep going. Math, like I said, it says here, Your student, if they're in an algebra class right now, they must have a C or better. I am also aware that OUSD does an assessment at the end of the year for folks or students that have been enrolled in a compression course. We will get that information from them as well. Hopefully your student passes that test and doesn't have a D, because that'll be a quandary. At any rate, if they are placed in a higher level, like it says, it can negatively impact their admission into a CSU or a UC. They want to see it. Please provide a PDF of the transcript. Okay. This is not the final registration form. I'll talk more about that in a second. Electives, again, these are electives. Please just choose Spanish or French. Don't choose Spanish, French, and choose one, please. Spanish is impacted, I can tell you that much. We do get a lot of requests. I will say this much: if a child is an advanced Spanish speaker or advanced Spanish speaker, we do ask that you check in with the Spanish 3 and 4 teachers at the beginning of the year for an assessment. The reality is, as a former 9th grade administrator, I just used to say, why even stress your child out? Yes, they may be able to do it, but Spanish 3 teachers, they've got 10th through 12th graders in their classes, and your child will be one of the few 9th graders in the class. And then if your child struggles, the Spanish 3 teacher treats, again, they're high school teachers. And that's not to say that our 9th grade teachers aren't, but like I said, our 9th grade teachers fully recognize that this is a transition year. The Spanish 3 teacher probably, it takes a little bit more of a discussion to help her recognize that. We do want the transcript. If the transcript has a C or better, you're good to go. Hopefully, again, and we'll check that with the assessment. Generally, the assessment occurs for students that are taking the math compression course in the middle schools. So again, there's French 3, French Mandarin. If they take Mandarin, it's on the upper campus. It's quite a bit of a walk. We do have 2 campuses at Oakland Tech. You can ask your college or your middle school counselor for your transcript. But Oakland Tech has a dual campus. That's our 2 campuses. We have another campus located 7 blocks away at the old Far West campus. It's an awesome thing having 2 campuses. It really makes Oakland Tech have a college feel. But like I tell kids, with a lot of freedom comes great responsibility. So again, if you're worried about your child, this is why we don't actually send most 9th graders up to the upper campus. We just want them to adjust that first year on the main campus. Yeah, students can walk in 10, 15. If the lights are good, it can take 10 minutes. Generally, it takes about 15, honestly. And this has been an issue. I've asked the city, I said, hey, can we do something? I've asked Dan Kalb's office, can we do something to adjust the lights during the day or to make them more responsive to students? Hasn't happened this year. The teachers on the upper campus do release their kids a little early. The teachers on the lower campus don't. So it is an issue, but we're trying to get through it by placing more campus or more classes on the upper campuses, and we try to minimize the trips. We do not want kids going back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, for sure. So this is an example of here in the form where you can see where you get to choose your elective. So you'll notice right here, but there's all kind of electives on here. There's band, there's advanced dance, beginning dance, there's orchestra, piano, ceramics, art, stagecraft. Civic engagement is actually our leadership class. There's mastering cultural identity, African American male achievement, African American male, African American female excellence, and computer science, and our dual enrollment class. So for your first choice, you're going to pick the elective that you want here. Then you're going to put your second elective. You see how it repeats here. So you're going to choose it. And then you're going to pick a third choice because you want to rank them. Choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. That way you'll get 1, 2 of the 3. I'm sorry. Okay. Mr. Price, did you have anything else you wanted to say
The
about that?
electives, just to answer a question, the electives are per year. Even the dual enrollment class, this is new this year. If your kid enrolls or your child enrolls in the dual enrollment class, they're enrolling for the whole year.
Mhm.
Okay. Generally, that's semester. The dual enrollment courses are per semester, but it creates an issue for us because then the student, the following semester, has a gap in their schedule or has a free period. We do not want ninth graders with free periods. We're actually, by giving them 7 periods, we're trying to get ninth graders ahead of the curve. So by the time they're in the 12th grade, if they pass all their classes and whatnot, they can do job internships and shadows and whatnot, or they can start working or taking more dual enrollment or more concurrent enrollment classes at Peralta colleges and whatnot.
Right.
You will
So,
get your own locker in school once you enroll. There will be a locker sign up, probably at the orientation and then probably during the first week of school. Somebody did ask, is this it for registration? I think we can go to thank you part. Let's see. Any questions about this process right here? You will not be receiving course descriptions, but if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Um, Again, the teachers that are teaching them, uh, no, again, you can just reach out and we'll give an explanation. Or if you really want to know, I can connect you with the department heads, or we can connect you with the department heads of certain areas as well. As far as can we put the Google form back in the chat again? You're going to end up sharing your emails of both. Okay.
yeah, Miss Priscilla, can you put the Google form back in the chart again? There's
And
no descriptions for courses. Why not? Because most of them are pretty self-explanatory. A lot of these courses exist in the same way. The ones we explained to you are the ones that I think you needed more explanation about. If you have questions about a particular course, put your question in the chat, or um, you can email the counselor and we can answer it for you. Okay. So I'm gonna move on with the slideshow.
yeah, we
I do
will
want to
address that.
mention that we will be offering Summer Bridge, which will be June 6th through July 1st. And it's gonna be two-week sessions. Students will have 4 classes. This might be subject to change because we're still working on some of the classes that will be offered. We'll be talking about math principles, just to go over math and make sure students understand what high school math looks like and how different it might be from middle school. We're going to be doing a lot of social emotional learning within our English, just to make sure that students are feeling acclimated to what the high school experience is going to be like. We're going to talk about life study skills, and time management. Life skills and study skills. This is important because when you come to high school, you're going to have so much more freedom at Oakland Tech. Like Mr. Price said, we do have off-campus lunch. We have 10-minute passing periods. These are things that are very attractive to students, but you do need to have your time management together because you've got to make it back on time so that you're not late or tardy to class. Otherwise, you'll get card and tardy sweeps, or you'll be on attendance contracts for a certain period of time. And those things are never fun. So we're going to be trying to teach you about those things so that it doesn't become an issue when you become a ninth grader. Because again, this is the first year that credits actually count, right? This is the first year you're going to get transcripts, and there's many a ninth grader who can tell you stories about how, oh wow, when it gets to the end of the first semester, I didn't realize that my credits actually count. I had D's and F's because I just was skipping classes or showing up late or not taking my work seriously. And then what ends up happening is they fail semester courses and end up having to go to summer school or making them up later on in their high school career in 11th and 12th grade. And it's not fun to have to keep doing that. If you do this continually, 9th, 10th, and 11th grade, then by the time you get to 10th or 11th grade, you may be going to continuation school. So it's very important that time management becomes part of what we focus on. And then we're going to try to expose you to some scientific processes. So we're going to be working with our after school program. So you'll get to know our after school program staff. They'll be doing some STEAM education with you all. maybe some coding and some just fun things that can get you excited and engaged. That way, when you come back to school, you already know who the after school staff is, and you may want to be part of the after school program. So if you're, if you're interested in joining our summer bridge, please click the link below and sign up. Okay. And we can also send this information out to middle schools. We can post it on our website, and we can resend it through the messages that you receive via phone and via email, just so that we can make sure you have access to all this information. Ms. P, would you mind dropping this link also in the chat, just in case folks want to sign their kids up for summer school? Summer bridge. All right. So I do want to give parents the opportunity to become involved. One of the things that we really love is that we have such a great parent community at Oakland Tech. So if you'd like to become a part of our PTSA, that's Parent Teacher Student Association, please make sure that you do. The link is also on the bottom of this page, but you can find this link on our website. So if you go to Oakland Tech website, you'll find it there. And it gives you an opportunity to join. It's $10 for parent members and $5 for student members. All right. So did want to let you know that we are going to have a freshman orientation and fair. We want freshmen to be there from 4:30 p.m. Starting at 4:30 p.m. and we meet in the auditorium for orientation at the program and to do a campus tour. From 5:45 to 7, there will be a barbecue where students can enjoy dinner. You get to learn about clubs, athletics, extracurricular stuff. So there'll be all kind of booths outside for you to be able to sign up for the things that you think you're interested in and ways that you would like to get involved at Oakland Tech. So let's just be available for that, because I feel like this is going to be a really great opportunity. It's 4:30 to 7:30, but we ask that you come early so that you can be a part of the tours and be able to walk around, especially if you didn't get a chance to participate in the shadow days. Okay, so we're almost done. So number one, what you should be doing is reviewing your course selections on the Google form. You should automatically receive a copy of your responses. So myself and Mr. Price and Ms. P will hang out for a minute so that folks can continue to complete the form and ask a few questions if you have them. We'll answer some of those questions in the chat. And we want you to remember to upload a copy of your last report card and transcripts to that Google form for your math placement. If that's something that you want to look into, is taking a higher level math. And we're going to ask that you send your immunization records to amanda.epperson@ousd.org or sarah.boyd@ousd.org. Those are our two school nurses, and they're going to want to check your immunizations. If you don't currently have your COVID-19 vaccination shots, I'd recommend that you get them, because the rules may change next year in terms of students enrolling with that. So I just want to thank you for your time. Just want to make sure you do complete your registration documents on Aries. So you will be doing registration on Aries. We'll call you and give you some dates that you can come in and do registration, probably the week before or the weekend before, so that we can have students pick up books, take pictures, take your ID picture. We can have students get PE clothes, lockers, things like that, things that would be considered kind of particulars to get started. So you'll find out more information about that. But in terms of registration, you can actually do the registration packet on Aries without having to come in. So the expectation is that when you come in for registration, you'll just go through the little stations to get the basic things that you need, but the registration should be completed on Aries. We may have a few stations for registration with paper forms or forms in other languages, but most generally you can do all that on Aries, so you won't need to do that as much. Okay, so I'm gonna try to see if between Mr. Price and I, we can answer some of your questions, and we'll do the best we can. I'll give about 5 more minutes for questions, and if you have a question that you feel like isn't being answered in the chat, we can come off mute if it's really urgent. Okay. what is Aries? So Aries is our system that we use for student data. So you should be able to get a parent Aries account, and you can use Aries to check attendance, check grades, to check homework assignments to see how your student is doing. Are they turning in assignments? Are they not? You can register for school on Aries, and it's a great system because it gives you an opportunity to check in on your student on a regular basis. We're gonna put our email addresses in the chat. My name is Miss Williams. I'm the ninth grade assistant principal. Mr. Price is the Health Academy assistant principal, but used to be the ninth grade assistant principal for many years. And so he has a lot of institutional knowledge and helps Miss P and I out often when we have questions. And Miss Prisvila is our ninth grade counselor. So we'll put our emails in the chat so that you guys can reach out to us directly if you have questions.
So just thank you all for coming, and thank you for your patience. I know we had some technical difficulties. We are living and learning. We will debrief this process. We're just answering questions to the best of our ability. You can either put it in the Q&A or in the chat. I'm answering Q&As right now.
So if your student took Spanish in 8th grade at OUSD, which Spanish should they sign up for? Honestly, I would say Spanish 1 or Spanish 2. We're not particularly recommending the students take Spanish 3. If you're a native Spanish speaker, you can take Español por Hispanos or Hispanohablantes, that's EPH. That's something you need to talk to your counselor about because they would need to schedule you into that. But be aware that if you're a native Spanish speaker, but you don't read and write Spanish, Spanish for Hispanohablantes or Spanish for Spanish speakers is going to be really difficult because it's going to require you to do a lot of writing. So my ask is that that you really consider if you want to take Spanish 2, Spanish 3, and that you have the written skills that is required to be not only speaking Spanish, but writing Spanish. Okay. Do academies start in the 10th grade? Yes, academies do start in the 10th grade. I do want to say that we did 2 other presentations, one in November and one in December, where we talked about all of the things that are like, what are our academies, what are our systems? We had student speakers and things like that. So if you have questions about our academies, we do have that presentation linked on our website, and you can go back and review it and get more information about all the programs that are offered at Oakland Tech. How many years of Spanish do you need to do? You need 1 year of Spanish for the A to G requirement, but 2 years is recommended for CSUs and UCs. 10th to 12th grade counselors sent out an email saying that they would reach out to you individually. So if you have a 10th or 12th grade, 10th through 12th grade student that will also be joining Oakland Tech, make sure that you reach out to the 10th through 12th grade counselors. You can find their names on the website based on your last name, and they will be able to help you with registering for courses for 10th, 11th, or 12th grade. Stagecraft is just like a class you take where you do a lot of just like the stage work, the stage hand type of work. And you learn how to manage the stage, how to turn on and off the stage lights, how to set up sets, how to take them down, how to help a play to actually go through production from beginning to end. And then there's drama, which would be the actual like being a part of setting up a play. We host 2 plays a year. Matter of fact, we actually have the plays going on from now until the 29th I think maybe even next Saturday. So we're hosting a play called Clue right now that you can come and see at Oakland Tech. And if you want information about that, that should also be available on our website. Mr. Price, they're asking for your email. Is there a deadline for course registration? If we don't do it tonight, will it be less likely that we get what we want? No, I don't think so. I think that we're trying to register 417 students and we only have 158 on this webinar. So you're looking really good if you do yours tonight as opposed to everyone else. Okay, so go ahead and try to get it done. I would say sometime by next week. AAFE is African American Female Excellence. It's a class for African American females. We've had classes like African American Male Achievement, where we focus on, context of African Americans. How can we support African American males better? And it's a historical class. African American Female Excellence is very similar. And it's a class where African American females are centered and get a chance to learn a lot of history and get a lot of really great experiences through the Office of Equity program. If someone wants to take a higher level of French, how do they select it on the form? Again, I don't recommend you take higher than French 2, unless you can read and write French fluently. You can select French 3 if you want. I would say don't take anything higher level than 2. And if you read and write fluently, you can take French 3. But again, I would reach out to the teacher. Those names are also on the website. And so you can talk to them about what French level you should be in. 9th grade classes, are they on the upper campus? Not very many. We don't recommend that very many 9th graders take classes on the upper campus because it's hard to get back and forth, but Mandarin is offered on the upper campus. All of our French classes and Spanish classes are offered on the lower campus. Foreign language is a required elective, yes. By registration, do you mean on Aries? What about the Google form?
Can I say that? Can I speak to that?
Mm-hmm.
So again, this is not the last step. In August or July, OUSD will open up Aries, or they'll send you an email saying you can now register your child online through Aries. And there's a series of 6 or 7 forms that you'll have to go through. If you're from OUSD, you should be familiar with this because they just started this year or last year. So again, that is the final registration step, and then you will come in and finally secure your place. We need to see you in person as well.
Art 1 is not on upper campus. Civic engagement and leadership is basically just the same thing. It's a leadership class. Students learn how to be student leaders. Typical class size, I would say, is between 25 and 30 for 9th grade. Okay. If there are particular questions that are just burning that you got to get out, you've got 2 minutes because we're going to wrap up and everybody get back to getting ready for to end their night and back to their families and whatnot. So how do you sign up on Aries? You go to the district website and you should be able to get to the parent portal for Aries. What is the difference between the upper campus and the lower campus? Upper campus is where the Fashion Art Design Academy actually lives. And so if your student, when they get into the academy, is in Fashion Arts Design Academy, then that's where the majority of their classes will be taking place. But some classes are offered on the upper campus because that's where the teacher teaches out of. Fall sports tryouts, a student ID and verification code. Students should know their student ID. That's something that they have all the time. Fall sports tryouts generally happen at the beginning of the school year. You'll be able to find out about those things probably at the orientation. Didn't get an email follow-up for last week's phone notification for this Zoom meeting. We took all the information from School Mint. So if you didn't get an email, phone call, or follow-up, it's probably because you haven't completed your registration to accept Oakland Tech as the school that you want to go to. So make sure that in School Mint, when you actually registered your student for Oakland Tech, when you got your acceptance letter, that you complete the process for that so that all your information will be updated and you'll be able to get notifications from us around what to do next. What's the difference between the groups like Soul, Janus, and Neptune? No real difference. That all the teachers are excellent, excellent, excellent. I can't say enough about how wonderful they are. If your student gets an opportunity to be in any one of those 3 houses, they're winning. Okay, you can take algebra over the summer to get placed in geometry. No, you can't, because you have to be a high school student to take concurrent enrollment classes. So we ask that you wait. is their campus store for supplies, tech gear, snacks, things like that. And we have a Bulldog Bucks store where if you acquire a certain amount of Bulldog Bucks, you can buy things like gear and things like that. And you also can buy it at registration. So you'll be able to get that. And I think there's some stuff on the website. I know the
Yes.
PTSA does sell those things.
Yes, we have a spirit
Um,
store through the website that sells tech um, tech gear, and
right.
it should be on a website. If not, I can get you the link. It should be on a website though.
Can you reach out for help with Aries? Most definitely. Also, as registration approaches, we can send you some people who may be able to help. There are some of the folks who work in tech at our school that can support you on that. Okay, it is 7:41, and I think we went a few minutes over, but I do want to thank you all for your time. I want to give us an opportunity to get back to our families. Um, Yes, if you're in OUSD, you do get Aries. You should have access to Aries. It's on the district website. And if you have questions, feel free to email someone at the district. There's a way to send an email for support to try to get Aries, but that's something that your school, your current school should be able to help you with. So if you have questions about how to get Aries access, please call the counselor at your current school and make sure you have that before coming to Oakland Tech. Okay. So if you don't use Aries at their school because they don't attend an OUSD school, then contact someone at the district website. But that information should be pushed out to you, so you'll have access to Aries as an Oakland Tech student. All right. So again, I want to thank you all for your time. If you have additional questions, feel free to email myself and Ms. Prisvila as the 9th grade support. And then if you have questions for Mr. Price, you're also welcome to email us. Our emails are already in the chat. Mr. Rajan or Mrs. Rajan.
Just email us and we'll get it to you, please. Now is it. So email us, and if you email me, I'll get it to you immediately or as soon as I check my emails. But just email us, please.
Okay, that's my email. I'm the 9th grade assistant principal, Mr. Price and Ms. Prisbila also put their emails in the chat, so you might have to go up a little bit. Ms. P, can you push yours again, just in case? And once we get Ms. Prisbila's email in there, we're going to end our meeting. And again, thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you all next year. Go Bulldogs.
Thank you.
Thank you.